luxury, Chicago Luxury Motors. And while I was sitting in the dealership, the owner, black-owned owner, Aire, he asked me, he told me that he was contemplating on selling the dealership. He said he was thinking about it. And I said, why would you want to sell a dealership and business has been going pretty well? And he told me he's thinking about really relocating, going to another city. He was saying that Chicago is just really, he just feel like it's not the place for him anymore. Man. To really grow. And it made me think, a lot of times, sometimes we want to make changes in life, and sometimes it's our environment that's the main thing that's holding us back. Right. So I feel like it's really important if people start really focusing on, is it maybe time for you to make a dramatic move? Do you need to travel this year? Do you need to maybe just change and relocate around different people? Because you can have a goal, but if you're not changing your environment and mindset, it's going to be difficult to stick to that goal on February 19th. You're going to be, forget what your resolution was.
Absolutely. I've noticed a lot of people have been moving. And, I think it's a beautiful thing, but at the same time, they got to ask themselves, are they running from something? Or is there something they need to still accomplish where they live at? Or is it really time?
You can't hide from yourself. No matter where you go, there you are. I think I heard Teddy P say that one day in a song.
I thought you was at a concert. Oh,
hey. So what?
Now you
can't hide from yourself.
No,
man, come on now. We all know that. If you're a househead in Chicago, we already know that one. But go ahead.
In Chicago, though, some people will argue. There's a lot of people. There's a big migration. A lot of people moving, especially black folks, is moving out of Chicago.
Where are they moving to?
You know what? I know people that are going down to Milwaukee, Atlanta. What's the other place? Minnesota is a big spot. A lot of people going to Minnesota. Got a couple people going to LA.
Been going to Minnesota and Atlanta, so they haven't stopped, have they?
Well, I'm just what I've noticed is that Chicago's, I think, it's becoming a place. I was looking at a tweet that Donald Trump made today about Chicago. He was reporting the amount of murders that happen on a daily basis. And how many of them are black men, and just looking at the statistics, I don't know if the statistics were true, but the propaganda, whether it was true or not, it made me almost not even, it made me want to leave Chicago just looking at it. And it made me ask myself, if I wasn't here for business, is this the place I really want to raise my children? Is this a good environment for kids?
So, I have another question. Why is it one of the world's most popular, or America's tourist destinations?
Well, Chicago's beautiful. It's wonderful.
So if it's such a bad place, so it's like to one group they're saying, get out, it's horrible. To another group they're saying, hey, come and visit. So you have all type of foreigners moving here, and they're moving, and a lot of foreigners are moving into or setting up businesses in neighborhoods that it seems like African Americans are afraid to set up businesses in. So you got Koreans, you have Arabs, you have, I'm even seeing Polish guys rehab houses in the middle of the so-called hood. So while we're running out, seems like everyone else is running in. So are we falling for the okie doke? That's just another question.
Well, that's a good question. Meanwhile, I'm from Louisiana originally, and I moved to Chicago in '93. This is definitely my second home, and I find that everyone says the same thing, that Chicago is like no other city. I mean, even the people of New York, people would argue that, there's other cities that are better, but there are many that say that Chicago is one of the best cities. And when we think outside of the violence, and we think about the culture that is here and all the substance that's here in Chicago and the culture. And I feel like, I have not been able to pull myself away from Chicago, and I'm not from here. So even though I love being from back home.
How long you been here?
I've been here since '93. That's 23 years last year. So, thinking about moving back home is thinking about leaving some of the things that I've established here in Chicago. Okay. But I do see the violence, and a lot of it's by design, And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, we got to ask ourselves, what is it here? Why do people leave, and why do they come back? That's another thing,
When I think of Chicago, I think it's the city for the hustlers, in my opinion. Meaning, like, you have to get up and grind. Like, for example, different cities, they have a different pace to them, right? Like, you might go to New York, and you might notice that people are always moving around, right? Even if they got a business, even if they're on the street, they're moving, they're selling something, they're trying to do something, right? Because it's expensive in New York. You come to Chicago, it's funny, you can be driving up the street and you'll see guys just standing on the porch. You know, you don't see as much moving around, especially on the south side. You know, it's not as much, especially with the younger people I'm talking. It's a little different with the older professionals, but with the younger generations, you know, and I feel like if let's say if you're 16, 17, 18, or even early 20s, and you're not an entrepreneur, where would you find your job? Who are you going to work for in Chicago? You know, are you going to work for CTA?
They're going to work for self, work for other people.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, where would you work? Where would you work?
I mean,
as a young person, especially a young black man. I mean, because
a lot of young black men end up getting jobs at they work for grocery stores, if not restaurants. But then a lot of them become self-sufficient, but maybe not the best way. And this is just those that are in a certain environment that leads them to that direction. You know, it's not ideal.
So you have to have skills to work.
They have entrepreneur,
or
a
some type of
mindset,
education.
but it, they only can go as far as what's in front of them. So
you took a lot of trades out of the school, so you have to have skills, some type of skills to work a trade, or talented in some type of area or education. So, I mean, I guess that's where the job training comes in. Where are you going to work if you don't have any training?
But even if you have the training, though, and all I'm saying is in Chicago, like I'm just thinking, if I didn't have my own business, if I didn't know sales,
who taught you sales?
A lot of it I learned myself by just being out there, just being out there learning. I also read books and stuff too.
Okay, so you educated yourself.
But what I'm saying is, even sales is always you can always make money, right? Because people are always buying and selling. It's always a customer, right?
Yeah.
Every business needs customers, but outside, if you don't learn how to sell, I had to act like I don't know what type of regular job I would do in Chicago as a man who's 30 years old, like being employed. I don't know where I would be employed at.
Well, it depends. It depends on the person and where they would want to be employed, because a lot of people have a lot of different gifts and abilities, and sometimes, again, they use them for whatever is in front of them. I mean,
we trying to figure out where to get employment. Look out your window and you look at what the Latino brother's doing in your neighborhoods. He's employed himself cutting your grass, your bushes. The Arabic brother at the corner, he employed himself by opening up a corner store to sell your flaming hots or your cheese and bologna and all that. The Koreans, they employed themselves in your neighborhood by selling you hair. So, I mean, while we running around trying to figure out everything, it seems like everyone else already has it figured out in our neighborhood.
And that's what I'm getting to. That's my point. It's like, again, they're doing entrepreneurship.
Right.
Absolutely.
Do for self.
Everyone on this table, at this table, thinks about entrepreneurship. But a large majority of young black people in Chicago, especially the males, they're not thinking like entrepreneurship, not at least in a legit way. So why is it that the immigrants, when they come in, are they smarter? Do they just have a different perception? Is it because they get more government? They get government grants?
Perception would be correct, because it's all about teaching. It's all about the environment and what has that person learned, what have they pulled from. Like he says, they're not teaching you trades in school, but they're putting you in controlled environments where you have to then absorb what you feel is your idea of success. And a lot of the success that they see on television seems very far-fetched to the regular public. They would think that that's far-fetched when it's not. It's all about one thing leading to another in order to get somewhere. But again, you have to have mentorship, you have to have encouragement, you have to have certain people in place to put you in the mindset of being that entrepreneur that's going to get it done and get it right. And the immigrants, a lot of times they come here with that drive already, and their mothers and fathers, if they have both mother and father, which plays a big part, are telling them, hey, this is how you got to do to get it in life. And a lot of us are not,
yeah, that's true.
That fortunate to have that, and those that have overcame that, because that's a big argument. Hey, well, I didn't have my mom, I didn't have my dad, and I did this, that, and another. But still, what did you have in place to give you what you needed out of life.
The mic.
You know.
Talking to Mike.
Oh, okay. My apologies. All right. Y'all can hear me now.
Now, Sherelle, cause see now you're an artist, right?
Yes.
You're an artist. You're a singer. You was doing your thing at the beginning, top of the show.
Thank you.
And the artist is a lot of being an artist is a lot of entrepreneurship to a certain extent,
Yes,
right? Because you
yes,
got to go out there and
absolutely.
grind, sell your product. But another question that I have about like before we get like super deep into the topic, because I know our conversation is kind of all over the place. But I noticed in the United States, it seems like African Americans excel a little bit more sometimes when we fit a certain stereotype. when we kind of acquiesce with the stereotype, it seems like we get a little bit more success. Not all the time. I'm not all the time. I know we got black doctors and black business people doing their thing. But I'm talking about on the mass level. We're talking about propaganda because 85% of what make America work is the propaganda machine.
Yes.
And so I was even thinking about, our president Obama, who's getting ready to leave office. I thought some of his most popular moments when he was doing stereotypical black stuff. When he would like dance or dap up somebody, like he was or shooting basketball.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Obama's so cool because he's doing the stereotypical what black guys are supposed to do stereotypically.
I want to touch on that definitely.
So I mean, to a certain extent, should we use stereotypes? And kind of embrace them to a certain extent, and be able to use that. Well, what you think, Jay?
No. Be yourself. If what you truly like to do is whatever is considered a stereotype, do that. But if you have to act a certain way, then you're kind of going over to doing something on purpose, or you're kind of faking it a little bit. So, just be yourself. I don't think you have to fit into someone's box or stereotype in order to succeed or become successul. Because, if you get in the habit of doing that, you're just going to be tap dancing to the beat of someone's drum of every time you think they want something, So,
and I
just
totally
be yourself.
Agree. I agree with him with be yourself, because when I'm thinking about myself as an artist, I've been singing since I was 4 years old. My mother sings, my grandmother sings. And when I think about a lot of the stereotypes you talk of, whether it's a hoop star, whatever it may be, a lot of times those people have emulated themselves around somebody to get where they are, or, just has some type of influence. So therefore they did fall under another stereotype. Yeah. And, we know how the media works and what they like to see. Pertaining to our people. We see tons of shows and examples of it. So I do see that being something to ask, like, hey, are we falling into the stereotypes just to fall into them, just to give in? Or are we really acting out in our natural essence? I think
to a certain extent that depending on like what your field is, right? If you're a doctor or whatever, that's gonna be different. If you're like a straight professional, but a lot of people, especially younger folks, they're in media, right? Because the media and technology is what's taking over most of the future careers.
Absolutely.
So I think when you're in media, though, I think to a certain extent you have to embrace the stereotype, but not be fake with it. Like know how to use it. I really think so. Like for example. We was talking the other day about Tariq Nasheed, and he had the Mac Lesson show. And we were talking about one of the things that he does that's really cool. I think what helps people draw to him is that he know how to make stuff sound fly. Like he gives you that fly. He sells you this fly, cool image, which is a little. In my opinion, I think that's a little stereotypical that comes with most black guys, that we have this swag and we know how to be smooth.
Yeah.
But it's intelligence, though, too. He has intelligence of what he's saying. Right. So the stereotypical brother, according to the media, isn't intelligent. It's the shucking, the jiving, always turn up, the buffoonery. So in that way, I guess being cool, if that's a good stereotype. If brothers being cool, hey,
and to play on
that's
that,
cool.
the ability to relate, meaning that a lot of people like to see something that they could relate to, and they want to hear the language spoken or the energy behind what's being spoken. They like for it to be familiar, or else it's not always received. It depends on how a person's thinking. I'm just
Yeah, cause I don't know if y'all been following. We're going to get into some of the news stuff really quick now. But like even when I look at some of the social media news, some of the ratchet news that's trending, it is people really going into those negative stereotypes and stuff that's doing the most trending. We got. I don't know if y'all saw all of the Soulja Boy challenges over the weekend.
No.
One of them.
I mean, like
Everybody's doing the Soulja Boy
every time
challenge.
I look up, there's a new challenge. I mean, we got the Running Man, and it's not even a Running Man. I'm just like, we got the So Gone. Like, who's listening to So Gone anymore?
You know, but then Soulja Boy, he's got this beef with Chris Brown that they're going back and forth, and it's all
Chris
just
Brown
How's
is
that
actually
even
talented.
relevant?
and it's all WWF stuff. You know, but what I'm saying is whether you're talented or not, I think there's a talent with knowing how to keep yourself relevant too, though. When you don't have talent,
Right.
like the Kardashians.
There's not a talent.
I think it's a talent to that.
If you got
Yeah,
people
that was
who's
a
putting
shot.
money behind you
Sorry,
to
Kim.
make you relevant, you know.
But I think that is her talent, though. Her talent is I know how to make people pay
Her
attention to
talent
me
was what she
consistently.
did with Ray J, and that's her talent.
No, I seen it. It was
Her talent. You said her
I
talent
mean,
is
her
what?
talent was, you know, we know what she's known for, so I don't see what the talent is.
I mean, but what is she known for?
Exactly.
Well, I'll put it to
Nothing.
you like this: she released the app where she quote supposedly did like $80 million in sales on the app. You know, I mean that's a major business right there. You
Right.
know what I mean?
She
And a lot
have
of
a-
people slept on that
And I don't
on
mean
that
that
Kardashians app.
negatively, Kim, because I love Kanye, and that's your
You know,
girl.
she can get like 4 million just to
Kanye
show up
has
at certain
talents,
places.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
He has
sometimes,
talent.
because sometimes
what is
talent
she
is
known for?
overrated. Sometimes I know the most talented people on earth. Many times you never really heard of. There's a guy that's more talented than Michael Jordan, but we never heard of him.
What's his
Right,
name?
The world will never know. The world will never know.
don't know.
because it takes more than talent. It takes you got to
Absolutely.
hustle. You got to have a team.
But you
gotta
don't have to be a
be
buffoon.
committed.
You don't have to be a
And
buffoon.
when I
I'm not
say
saying you
that-
got to be a
You don't
buffoon.
have to be a clown.
Because I
You
want
have
to
be a
clarify
buck
when I
dancer to
said
make
what
it.
is she known for, meaning that meanwhile, when people always try to say that a person's known from this and that, but meanwhile, there's a lot of history behind a lot of people, and they have to do certain things sometimes to get on the forefront. I don't wholeheartedly believe in it, but you know, when someone puts themselves out there, then they do leave themselves susceptible to be a buffoon or somebody that's looked at as, okay, you're popular, but how popular are you? Is it positive?
But some dignity. Dominating. Now, is it that they more talented than him? Probably not. A lot of them. In fact, he had a guy that came to the dealership today, only been in America for 3 days, fresh from Mexico. The guy was like, I'm in there listening to the guy, barely speak English, but you know, the guy, you know what I mean? Culturally, those Mexicans, they're supporting each other. It's a lot of Hispanics that are coming in there. The Mexicans, they're you know what I mean? They're going to buy versus one of the problems that he's having is people that look like him when they come to the dealership.
Yes.
They want this deal. They want the hookup. You know.
And we can't think like that. We can't. We got to know that. I think that there's also a sense of brotherhood and sisterhood in the midst of that. And we don't understand that we got to step outside of that, not thinking, oh, since you're my brother and my sister, let me get a deal. No, we got to think in the terms of, no, you have to sustain your business. Just like if I go to any other place, I have to pay, I have to do this and that. And why shortchange you when you need it, you know? Yeah, we all got to support one another, and we got to keep the ball afloat.
You know what, Jackson, to backtrack, you know, you was talking about Obama.
Mm-hmm.
I think he actually did not fit the stereotype of the average African-American politician, which was what got him into the White House. Because if you remember the African-American, a couple of African-Americans that ran prior to him, Al Sharpton, you know, he kind of fit the stereotypical African American politician or Jesse Jackson. So
No, I agree.
Barack kind of went left, and that's what got him in.
No, I don't know if that's what got him in, but I will say this. What I'm saying is his most popular moments in terms of stereotypical. Al Green, something cool. That was like his most trending moment.
But people needed that.
Amongst the
they needed
masses.
that to know that they really had a black
He
president.
did relatable stuff.
That's just So I mean, I believe that with
it
a
wasn't
president,
buffoonery. You know what I'm saying?
right?
It wasn't Conan.
And I'm not saying buffoonery,
Right,
but is it seems like the media that you eat, that you consume every day, is what influencing all of our habits and how we gonna interact with each other, right? I feel like we almost can't even have a code of conduct if we're watching bad media. If your media is opposite to your code, and that's all that you're watching,
or your music, or your entertainment, exactly.
Absolutely.
you know.
So what? But we defend everything that's opposite of our code for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Well, I think
we'll sit up here and say, well, a person has a choice and this, that, and the other, and while the child running around listening to everything that the opposite of what the mother then told him in the house, but for 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day, they listening and watching opposite of everything the teacher and the mother is saying. Was a television and radio.
I think nowadays it's the parents that's listening to the turn up music with the kids.
Man, and that's the scary part.
I think now we're at that point where a lot of the parents are 17, and they still had parents who, you know what I mean, who were young. Like, come on,
and I know a lot of my substance. Like my mother, she was 17 when she had me, but the music that I grew up on was a variation of many music. The current music at that time, which was in the 80s, 90s, well, 90s, and also old school. And I knew what that substance gave me, meaning that the substance in the music gave me substance. Now, to think that nowadays a lot of the kids are treating Fetty Waps and everybody like they're Al Green, and like they're Marvin Gaye, that's what they're growing up on. So it's pretty scary to think about. But as long as we understand that, at home is where it starts, then we're able to then fight that, that whole energy that could, kind of interrupt with our generation.
Well, speaking of talking about overstanding things at home, so also in the news, 2017, this really isn't news, but stuff that people should be aware of. At the beginning of every year, your state is always implementing brand new laws that you should be aware of. So I'm encouraging everyone to make sure they visit the website or do a Google search to see what are the new laws going on in your state that
That's
are
very important.
recently just launched. So I'm actually looking on one of the Illinois website now.
All the laws are going to revolve around you getting locked up. I mean,
that's enough.
Negroes getting locked up. What else? What else is new?
Shush.
Well, okay, so
just be quiet.
I mean,
so one thing I saw that I thought was kind of interesting was that hairstylists and barbers now it's mandatory.
Child thing, right?
It's mandatory that they take a 1 year. Every year they have to take like a course. They have to get credit in order to keep their license. They have to be aware, take this course so they can recognize domestic violence, abuse.
Okay.
And also like child abuse and stuff like that. So now they're being trained and recognized. So that says a lot about the state of the community.
You get beat up
when they're training your hairstylist.
So how would they?
So I guess because you coming to hide the punch marks or whatever. So you're getting your hair
I'm
done.
Wait.
So they need to recognize.
Wait.
Right.
Because there's people with
true.
sensitive
Your stylist
scalp.
can see it
There's
all.
people with
Like, hey,
ringworms. There's people all types of
your
stuff.
head.
I don't know. I could imagine that there's people with sensitive scalp and there's all types of things going on because there's tons of people in the world. So how would you you recognize this domestic violence? How are they supposed to react?
Well, that's what they're being trained on is how to properly be. I guess to report that, and I guess maybe even give out pamphlets or something. If you need some help, call this number.
I'm done.
Which is
But why
further. We know what that's
hairdressers,
and And it seems to me the more that you get the state, because some people would say that's a good thing, and I do believe in some situations there's a good thing. Because I've been on the street and I've seen a pregnant sister get straight punched out and slapped out. You know what I mean, by her
that
boyfriend.
hurts to hear.
But at the same time, I do think that when the more you get the state involved in people's households,
Yeah.
the more that it's a less communication between the household, and it drives the households further apart.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Right.
that's an interesting thing. But other things in news, employers can no longer be able to access these social media pages for their employees. That was something that in the past that legally that employers could be able to get that if they wanted to legally. So
Meaning that an employer, they can't go to their...
like your boss could get access to your Facebook page, could
Right.
ask you what's your password.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Really?
I see. We didn't even know that was legal for them to do
No,
that.
and
But
I wish they would have.
They couldn't get your password. They might want to, send you a friend request or just so you look at your
yeah,
Facebook
this
account.
law says employers will no longer be able to ask employees or prospective employees for their usernames and passwords to personal online accounts, including the social media accounts. So you never know what some of these some people go through.
Right.
Well,
I'm not.
I'm not on Facebook anyway, so.
Anyways.
Okay, so I'm gonna get too much deeper into that because we're gonna keep on moving along with the show. But make sure y'all check out the new laws that are in your city.
All
Definitely.
against
I'm
you.
going to check that out.
Also,
All the laws against you.
You know what?
yeah. Also in the news,
Don't
we
get
had a
beat up
couple
and go to the beautician.
in celebrity
You got to
celebrity
get a little
news.
bang, to cover the black eye. That's a shame, though.
Also in celebrity news, we had a couple celebrities just recently had babies that I know a lot of people are probably talking about. Janet Jackson, she just recently had a baby.
Wow. From the 50-year.
Yeah, she's about almost
That's
50.
amazing.
So that
She
says
is
a lot.
50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's 50.
Wow.
Half a decade.
But I
Yeah.
wonder if she did it naturally or if they froze the eggs or what,
Half a century,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I heard this. Didn't she have a baby with the DeBarges? One of the DeBarge guys back in the
They sure
80s?
said
This would be
that.
a second.
And that's some background for El DeBarge. I don't
didn't
know,
know
just
she had
looking at
any
him
kids.
and looking at the child, I don't know.
L had a baby like back in
Yeah.
the day.
And then when we look at the girl that they say is the daughter, she does look a lot like Janet.
Wow.
I don't know about Elle, but hey.
Also,
Yes.
speaking of babies,
Claim that baby.
Kobe Bryant just had a
Oh,
baby
okay,
with his
okay.
wife. Him and his
With
wife
his
just had a
wife,
baby.
okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Luckily
A lot
it
of
was with
people
his
are.
wife. Yeah.
A lot of people are mad at Kobe.
Because he had a
A
baby
lot
with
of
his
things.
wife.
No. Because of how he treats his parents. But then again, you just never know why that is. A lot of people have a lot of opinions
Why does he treat his
and
parents?
half the facts. He cut them off and other people. He cut his family off. Not because they did anything wrong to him,
But
so he
sometimes
claims.
you gotta cut your family
I
off,
feel
though.
you. No, don't get me wrong, but they were looking at the fact that he does a lot for his wife's family, and they felt like he has some type of resentment towards his own. And here it is, he has $600-something million, and
Yeah.
when they got stuff going on, he won't even lift a dime to his own blood. Nevertheless, I don't judge him wholeheartedly, and me and my mom kind of had a riff-raff about that because she was just like, but that's his family, that's his mother, I'm like, meanwhile, we don't really know what he had to undergo in his success and where had to be. But his claim,
They wasn't with him when he was shooting in the gym.
but they was with them though. They supported, but his claim is that he doesn't want them to be. He wants them to follow their dreams and their goals.
But you know what?
He
you
doesn't
never,
want them to get
you,
complacent
You
with
never.
him.
His parents.
His parents, and anyone else that maybe has received some benefits from him. He says he wants. His claim is that his whole
So why they
reason
helped
for not
him
giving them
reach
anything.
his dreams and his goals and sacrifice for him to reach
Yes.
his dreams and his goals.
Yes.
Now he's telling them, leave me alone, go follow your dreams and your goals.
Yes, and as long as you're getting my payment, you're not going to do
Yeah,
anything. You're just going to
sometimes people
sit
grow
around.
apart. I mean,
That's crazy.
and some
Yeah, it
situations.
is.
But you know what? He's good. If look, I can't judge it because I'm not inside, so I really can't say it's good or bad, right or wrong.
Right,
But
try
I
to be
will
free from
say,
that, too.
if you're sending money to your family,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you probably don't have to do that. You know what I mean? You're sending money to your family.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you do gotta charge certain people to the game and kick them to the
Which
curb.
family though?
No,
You can't
I
charge
mean,
your
I
mom
could
and daddy to the
imagine,
game.
but that's his mom and dad.
I'm not
and so it's
saying
kind
your
of hurt.
mom.
No. So,
But there's some situation. I'm just saying certain family members do need to be charged.
Charge that cousin.
Right, right. Because
And then
it's like,
sometimes
hey,
even your mom might need to be charged from
If
a
she's
distance.
out of order.
You still
Right.
love her. Yeah,
If
that's what I'm
she's
saying.
out
If
of
she out of
order.
order.
Right, right.
So we don't know.
So that's
the
why I
details.
said I don't
Still,
know.
I don't know. You know, depends.
But also in news, Ronda Rousey she got another 48-second. She got jumped on, by like 3 Brazilians at one time.
Wow.
Yeah, it went down in the ring. A lot of people lost. It wasn't 3. It was just 1.
Did
But
they
you
do
would have thought it
capoeira?
was 3. The way she got beat down.
Did they do
Yeah.
capoeira on her?
Well, see, her problem I think is she trying to box too much, and she's not
Okay.
really a boxer.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she got paid $3 million for the fight. And what was interesting is that the woman who beat her, Nina, I forget her last name, Nina Nunes, only did about $250,000
Wow.
for the fight, and she was the champion going into the fight. So the
Right.
champion only got $250, and then the challenger, So I say that to say everything is all a business and promotion and the racket.
Privilege.
I seen a hilarious
That too.
meme of that. They had her face and then she was pointing like this, just like Chris Tucker for Rush Hour. Which one of y'all hit me? So it was
Yeah.
hilarious if y'all remember that scene from Rush Hour. Chris Tucker, which one of y'all hit me? And they had her face all beat up. That's terrible though. I mean, hey, when you get into that type of, you attract whatever you are expanding on. So
Yeah, I hope she can
wish her best
definitely.
recovery.
Yeah, I hope she can bounce back from that.
Yeah.
And
Because she was running her mouth about fighting Floyd and all that,
Fighting Floyd.
Boxing. That's how I tell people. You have
Okay.
different, fighting styles. Require different skills. So, she just got tagged and couldn't block any of the shots.
But you know what
Kinda
though,
horrible,
and this goes back to what I was saying about the whole stereotyping.
Horrible, man.
Is that the UFC? They're trying to promote a business, right? It's all about the money.
And she got the
And
business.
and the UFC, it does seem to me kind of a I don't want to say hillbilly. I don't think that's the right word, but it does seem a little. It seems a little racist though to me. It got some
I hear you.
racial undertones to it. And if you look at Rhonda, to a certain extent, it almost seems like they were trying to package her to represent that stereotype to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
I hear
with,
you.
With her whole attitude and how bad she was supposed to be,
Yes.
and and whooping all this ass.
But that's media again.
Yeah, go back to the
Because here it
media.
is. I've done mixed martial arts, and when I thought about where I want to take it, a lot of times with mixed martial arts, the highest of the heights is UFC. But I've already watched enough of it to see, hey, I'm not gonna get my little ass in the ring. Excuse me, I don't know if I could curse, but I'm not gonna get in the ring and possibly just have to risk certain things because sometimes stuff is rigged. We don't really know. We gotta just kind of.
You done mixed martial arts?
Yes, I have. I have. Some of the people know out there. But anyways, and people that have been very close to me actually really wanted to fight UFC or fight UFC. Pitbull, I know him in high school, Hebrew. And Lazar, a lot of the brothers I know that are fighting UFC right now, I've actually been around them and seen them, get to where they are. So meanwhile, just seeing that whole entity itself, it's too much going on with that, and there's no telling what's what. So you got to be careful when it comes to media and any of that. I don't really I take it with a grain of salt. I would never bet on someone.
And just for our viewers too, because we're going to be concluding like within about the next 10 minutes. But we're looking on the page right now. If you got any questions, first of all, we want to shout y'all out. We see y'all looking. But if y'all got any questions or comments y'all want to chime in, leave it in the comment section, or you can make a quick call at 773-263-2584. 773-263-2584 as we conclude. All right. But let's get back to kind of wrapping up. We were talking about the initial topic about when do you know it's time for you to relocate, make some other moves. Because for some people, they may not need to move to a different city, but they definitely might need to just at least travel and start networking in other areas.
Absolutely.
So when do you, and Jay, in your opinion, when do you think is a good time? Because some people are so stuck, like it's people in Chicago that's never left the that haven't even been to downtown Chicago.
I may have never left their premises.
You know, and that says a lot about how your perception of the world when you haven't never even been past 22nd Street.
Right. I mean, I've seen it. It's amazing.
I mean, I think people should travel as much as they can. You know, visit other places before you just up and just go somewhere.
Right,
you know, because
right.
you don't know what situation you hopping yourself into.
Exactly.
You know, so if you're thinking about moving to Los Angeles or New York or Atlanta or, you know, D.C., go visit these places. Or even out of the country, go visit a couple of times. And, you know, after you've made some connections there, if you think that might be the thing for you to do, you know, then just think about doing it. And maybe, you know, you can make it happen in another city. But I wouldn't just up and leave because I'm tired or, you know, I'm getting beat up in whatever situation I'm in. You know, sometimes, like you said earlier, you need to change your environment, change the circle of people around that you're around, you know, change the places that you go to. You know, because I know some people say, man, I'm tired of Chicago, man. I'm going to the same old places, seeing the same old people. I'm like, well, there's something called the North Side. There's downtown.
Exactly.
There's this spot. There's this restaurant. You know, there's this art gallery. Or this museum. You know, or do different events. So.
And I pride myself being, when I moved from Louisiana, I moved to the North Side of Chicago. And I lived there for a significant amount of time, then lived out south, then Northwest as well. So I see that, and I, you know, worked downtown. I knew that every place had a different energy, and I benefited from that tremendously. And it makes me sad when I think about those people that they have dispositions like North Side thinks, oh, I can't go out south because if I walk outside, I probably get, you know, shot, and I can't go up north. It's predominantly this and that, and they don't really understand, hey, it's a whole heap of everything, and you get in where you fit in naturally because we're all interconnected. All of us are interconnected with each other in some way, shape, or form. So anyways, going back to when it's time, there's a lot of people that feel that it's time because they feel like I'm fed up with everybody and I'm fed up with everything. You know, when they leave with that mindset, they end up possibly coming back. Now, when there's those that feel like, hey, you know, I did a lot here. I've experienced a lot. I've been here my whole life, damn near. I've traveled. I'm in love with Atlanta. I'm in love with Texas. I'm in love with the South. I'm in love with California, whatever it is. And then they feel like, okay, it's time for me to move forward business-wise, or something is elsewhere for me. When they come to that conclusion, then that could feel like, okay, yeah, it's time to go. But you can't always just run just because you feel like.
I think some people,
you know,
everybody's situation is different. But
absolutely.
Some folks, they need to get their ass up out of Chicago ASAP, like yesterday.
Yeah,
right, but don't take that nonsense to another city.
Nah, definitely not. You don't
so
go there.
Some people are hell in Chicago, then they move somewhere else, and they hell there too. You know, in that town, you know, I've been places, lived in certain cities where, you know, they come down there with that, I'm running the show because I'm from Chicago, and that town or city or have dealt with them accordingly after a while. You know, so you just have to have a, you know, some type of business plan, strategy, or whatever.
Absolutely.
You want to do your market research, but again, before you just up and go somewhere and do something erratic.
I'm gonna be a little contrary to that and say some people need to just get their ass up and go. The first train.
Who are those people?
You know, that's the person that's always complaining about the city. First of all,
right.
If you always complaining about the tickets, the fines, ain't nothing happening. If you that person, you complaining about everything.
Yes.
If you a person where it seems like trouble keeps finding you in the city,
absolutely.
You know, and you don't have anything going on in the city.
Don't go to another city.
Then move around
out into the wilderness somewhere. Go west and stop somewhere in the middle.
You might as well go in the forest preserve.
Or try other parts of the city, because that's another thing. That's a big thing. Like you spoke of, a lot of people.
Go somewhere and be by yourself.
So I think some people need a whole nother.
I might move to another city. I might move to another city. I don't want to see you there. You know.
Right. But it goes back to attraction, though. Attraction. We have to know the power that we have in general to be able to create our atmosphere. So meanwhile, while you're thinking about all the negative stuff, that's just going to be expanded around you. So you got to think outside of that and move forward, you know, and feel like, hey, I'm going to experience better while I'm here. Especially if you have children, if you have certain things set up here, you have to think twice about moving forward.
Well, speaking of children and relationships, one thing I am going to say, though, about this, last thing I say about the topic is if you're a man, be careful before you move to a different city because you're trying to move in with a woman in a different city. Like, I don't know why that's becoming a trend. I got friends telling me that they got
Hey,
some girl that, you know, a woman that they like, and they're going to move
Come on
in with
now.
her.
Come on.
Like, what do you
That's too
think is going to
much.
happen when you get now? In some situations, it's a beautiful thing. I think when they're older and you got your business established, you can take care of yourself. Right. That's cool. But if you ain't got nothing going and you a young person, you finna go move. What you think's gonna happen? She gonna be calling all the shots.
I mean, a lot of people are making too many moves before they think things out, and they end up having a messed up disposition about the opposite sex. But meanwhile, you made the decision. You the one that moved before you thought and before you got to know that person. So you got to be careful. Like, don't do that. That's hilarious.
So
I've seen it before, but it's rare.
So as we begin to conclude the show, I think I just want to just recap and just really encourage everybody to, you know, sometimes you have to really change your environment, and it doesn't always. And I think you need to make it ritually. You know, take a trip somewhere, change your scenery at least once a month, even if it's not out of the city. Maybe just go to a different part of the city that you're not used to. You know,
right.
Go explore something different. Even if you're putting your technology down, do something different so that you can escape. Because it seems like when you leave and you come back, you look at things different when you get back.
Tell me about it.
You know, you had a different appreciation. So,
and distance makes the heart grow fonder. So if it's your hometown or you have love here, then yeah, maybe you need to move around a little bit. And
you don't even have to leave the city
right.
to do business all the time. I mean, it's an internet-based world right now. You know, so you know you can start up an online business. You can do business around the planet in different cities. You know, based on the World Wide Web. You know, traffic, things like that. You know.
Tell me about it.
You know,
So we would definitely want to thank everybody. Jay, you're absolutely right with that. We want to thank everybody for tuning in for this week's show. We're going to really turn it up next week. We're about to really turn it up. I think
it's your birthday coming up, right?
Oh yeah, you know, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, that's my birthday is.
We're gonna have some birthday shots.
When is
next birthday?
Oh,
yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some shots.
Show.
What you think we should? You think we should do anything different?
Absolutely, we should. We're gonna dedicate it to Jackson.
Okay. Well, if we're gonna dedicate it to me, let's dedicate it to all Capricorns. And
hey, Capricorns! My
my
baby's a Capricorn.
Season.
My daughter.
Happy birthday to all the Capricorns.
Absolutely. January 2nd, my baby, 1-2-15.
All the Capricorns.
Yes, indeed.
So definitely tune in next week. It's going down. We're going to be celebrating. We also going to be tuning in with people with their goals. Make sure you leave some comments and give us some questions because we want to be able to, we're changing up and switching up the format. We want to really increase the production value and make it more valuable for our listeners. So make sure y'all are subscribed and to the Fresh Aire Network on Facebook. That's the Fresh Aire, AIRE, on Facebook. Also subscribe to that YouTube page. The Connect 360 on Facebook as well. Tune into that. Also, I gotta represent. Next week we're gonna debut the new music video we just shot. We just shot a music video at the car dealership.
Right.
When it was like 2 days ago,
yeah,
2 or 3 days ago. It's
absolutely.
called tax season. So it's motivation for all of how to flip that tax refund.
We're gonna show the video now.
No, we're gonna debut it next week. We're gonna do it for the Capricorn.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it to
shout out
kick
to my
off tax
stepfather
season.
too, Capricorn.
Kick off tax
December
season.
31st.
Okay.
And my boy. Yeah, shout out to you guys.
So it's definitely going down. Just shout out to all our sponsors, virginandremyhair.com.
CC360, Chicago Luxury Motors.
Yes.
The Fresh Aire Network, Cavan Wear, definitely all the people that support the show. You know, much love to all of y'all. We just stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned.
Shetty Soul Designs.
What can they find you, Sherry Soul? What can they find you?
Well, you can find me at YouTube, Sherelle Sullivan, that's CHERRELLE, Sullivan, SULLIVAN. And if you go on Facebook, I'm Sherelle Sheriso Sullivan. If you can't add me on there, then go to Sheriso, that's CHERISOUL. Also, Sherelle Sullivan as a like page, that's CHERRELLE Sullivan. You know the rest.
And if you can't find it there, just go to
47th and King Drive.
I'm done with y'all, man.
Go to 47th.
Right.
51st.
Right next to the herbal tea, right next to the coffee shop. She'll be right there with a book.
Yes, I'm a tea connoisseur, you know.
Yeah.
Do many things.
So can you take us out with a quick 10 seconds of a soul? 10 seconds of soul.
Absolutely. Hold on. Oh gosh. I don't know what to sing. Go, y'all give me something.
I was born by the
I was born by the river
By the
In a little
Chicago
tent.
River.
Yeah.
in a little
I
tent.
hope it went to lakefront.
Oh, I'm done with y'all. I can't do it. I'm singing. Oh, and just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
And you better be the change.
2017.
Yes, don't wait on it to
Here we
change.
go.
You be the change. And we
Absolutely.
out. Peace, y'all. Thank you.
Peace, peace,
and
peace.
love.